Pillars of Eternity continues. Well, let's get a move on. We flooded the shit out of this place, so guess we could run around and scavenge all the bodies. Possibly find things I missed the first time.
Laying low.
How are these guys alive? You guys the fresh meat? We took everything off the dead bodies to make them easier to carry away. Ice is built upon every space between the bones of the skeletal hand, forming a slippery incline into the jagged cliffs below. An angry wind whistles as it twists around the frozen fingers of this giant skeletal hand. Cool. There's a wall of water. A voice from the deep achievement. Oh yeah.
A goddess who buys faith by hiding secrets is sure to have a few of her own. We should not be surprised.
The reliquary appears to contain only a single relic, the skull of an immense being. Somewhere in this enclosure is the means by which Kowtow meant to call off the eyeless. Lodged between rows of crystalline rock, a large fragment of metal protrudes, as though it might be possible to pry loose. At your touch, the splinter of metal begins to glow orange. Heat surges up your hands and arms and envelops you with such intensity you feel as though you are melting down. The heat spreads to the world around you, turns it orange and then yellow and then white. The ground, the sky, everything around you drips in molten globs and begins to take shape beneath you, as if an invisible mold. You and your shard are the last thing to melt and fall, and your addition to the molten pool completes the shape of an immense hammer. The metal cools as quickly as if it is heated. The handle is gripped now by two great leathery hands, and the hammer is cocked back over a shoulder as broad and mottled as a hilltop. The wielder whirls around and heaves the hammer, and you are flying upward in what seems to be like ages into the airless blackness above. As you spin, you catch glimpses of a rock large enough to be a moon. It is close, far too close to the world. The force of the impact shatters hammer and stone alike. The rock is redirected outward, but a section of the front face is cleaved off and begins to fall, splintered apart to the cracks. In 100,000 fragments blossoming outwards in all directions, debris shower the atmosphere, trailing smoke and fire. Below, land and sea are far off, but gradually rising up. Dude's playing baseball with the moon. The largest of the fragments, wide as a city, barrels down in a fiery cocoon. Its size reduces as the edge immolate, but it won't burn up in time. It lands silently in the distant ocean, sending a column of water skyward and radiating ripples that spread like wrinkles in the fabric. Then the sound comes tearing up to the sky. It sounds like thunder. Features are becoming clear by the moment as you streak toward the earth. You are lodged in an enormous boulder, falling among other smaller fragments that heat and burst around you on all sides. Beneath you, snow-capped mountains rise up, dotted here and there by cities of stone and Adra. The impact will be the destruction of all of them. The shadow of your rock fragment is visible now, getting larger by the second. You're moments away from striking the ground when a massive shape throws itself in your path. The last thing you hear sounds like another rumbling impact, but that isn't what it is. It's a chuckle, relieved, breathless. You hear two words. Made it. Everything goes dark. You open your eyes, the metal hammer fragment has come free, and now you hold it in your hands. It is warm to the touch. The air around you, suddenly turbulent, spiteful. A cold, damp wind whips your face. Salt crystals collect in your nostrils and the creases of your eyes. The floor below you becomes blue-gray and glassy, churning and rolling, and when you fall, you crash through water. Violent waves hurl and spin you. Something slithers around your ankles, seizes you with incredible strength, drags you down into silty depths. When the pooling stops, you're hovering at the center of an endless blue abyss. You can see neither surface nor floor. You seem to be facing downward, but there's no way to be sure. A voice sounds from everywhere at once, and the immense pressure wave of each utterance sends you reeling.
Deceitful wretch! Grave robber! You who dig for that which you did not bury, speak! Explain yourself and be judged.
I seek a means of defeating an army that threatens my lands.
You seek what is mine, what was rightfully lost.
The outburst propels you, sending you end over end.
Your actions speak for themselves. The battery opened, the forge ignited. You conspired with souls that evaded my judgment. Saw them infused into the very thing they had stolen from me. The dwarves sealed their own fate. The forge was meant to be forgotten. And now, here you are again, denying peace to the buried.
The turbulence around you calms, settles like slow exhalation. In the vast darkest seascape beyond, the murk fades in. Rays of light trickle down from far above onto green-gold columns of kelp that rise from the depths and sway back and forth in the current. Fish and mollusk Patrol them in groups of hundreds and thousands. The nearest past you with watchful eyes.
What do you mean the Forge is meant to be forgotten?
It was never meant for mortal use. Such power, such truths lie within it. It can bring only ruin. When the Pargrunen came to the White March, they were peaceful. They shared common beliefs and purpose. Their visions for the Forge tore them apart. You have seen this for yourself. They would have destroyed themselves in the end.
How convenient that we'll never know.
You need only look to the history of your own civilization for assurance.
Blah, blah, blah.
How many wars, how many fallen empires might have been averted if only their leaders could forget the objects of their ambition?
Not sure. I'm still here.
I mourned the loss of the Pargrunen. Misfortune brought them here. They did not deserve to end so soon.
Sucks to suck. What are the bones of one god doing sealed in the temple of another?
Do not play coy with a god, Watcher. I know you have seen his death. I feel it whenever a forgotten thing is taken from me. Abidin did not deserve to die here. This place, it was the least I could do to give his remains some privacy.
The least you can do.
The least I could do for ending his life.
By drains from your surroundings, the kelp forest becomes the copse of black tendrils, stark and twisted with regret.
I called the moon down to me. Ioni brother. It was against his wishes. He would not listen to reason. Would not listen to me.
So this bitch tried to send the moon toward the world to destroy it, and Abidun protected it by smashing it with a hammer and shattered it. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Mr. Satan, who's played this 12 times, can clear it all up for us.
In his madness, he splintered the moon. But it was not enough. The greatest of the fragments still fell toward that which he would protect.
Right.
In the end, he took position where it would fall, and absorbed the impact himself.
Oh, okay.
I thought Bilafa and Kaldra were the moons.
Ioni brother is their smaller sibling. Tiny next to them.
Oh, well, don't call them down.
Small enough that the world would survive its impact.
But why the temple? Why secrecy?
That time has been forgotten now. And so his death belongs to me. Everything he was before the impact.
But you slew another god. Surely the other gods know this. Surely Abaddon must know.
Current surges through the kelp bed, pushing each plant sideways like saplings in a hurricane and propelling you backward amidst a torrent of wayward fish.
No! He cannot know! He must never know!
I'm gonna tell on you!
Understand, he was not always as he is now. His body was not all he left behind. He was devoted to progress and industry from the beginning. But so too was he devoted to preservation. In those times he would let nothing go. Nothing could be forgotten. His will was iron long before his body.
What was it that he's trying to preserve?
Time has finished much of what I started. I cannot tell you that, mortal, for fear of undoing all its costly work.
Preservation. So that's what was why he went so far to oppose you.
We agreed long ago, all of us, not to alter the course of Kith's civilization. Not directly. Not unless there were no other choice. But in this matter, there was no other choice. He understood that as well as anyone. It was for duty that he opposed it. I would have stopped it if I could, but by then it was too late.
You make it sound as though you were the sane one.
The other gods knew what had to be done, but they lacked the will to go through with it. Even gods have their attachments. To erase all knowledge of such a grand thing required unthinkable devastation. The Eastern Reach, Deadfire. Mine was the only solution. When I called down Ioni brother, they remained silent. Even Abaddon. He knew it was for the best, but he tried to stop it all the same. Perhaps deep down I knew he would. I should have expected it. I could have stopped it. You may ask.
What does it matter if something is remembered or forgotten? It's in the past, in either case.
Memories are the spirits of the past. You of all people should know their sway on the present, Watcher.
Great, more spirits.
Mortals measure the worth of their lives in memory. Who will remember me? How long until I am forgotten?
Lug-Lug will never be forgotten.
Memory governs every thought, informs every choice. It can fuel passion, understanding, love, or it can create obsession, madness.
This isn't madness. This is Lug-Lug.
You have seen it plague many souls in your travels. Consider the old Watcher who inherited unspeakable crimes from birth. Or the young woman who committed herself to Brackenbury for love of things she remembered she had. Or the fisherman whose life became a sentence the day he killed his sister. Or the Glonfathen boy for whom an old medallion was worth more than all the fruits of his labors. They could be free from their burdens, if only they could forget.
Their problems go deeper than memory. Simply forgetting does not make them go away.
For some, perhaps. But for many, the memory is all that remains of it. The fires of Cold Morn died long ago, yet vengeance still burns in this construct's mind. What is vengeance but a fire fueled by memory that consumes the soul?
A fun way to kill time?
Cold Morn is not but a memory now. If it no longer intruded on her thoughts, no longer haunted her dreams, she could live a life of her choosing.
She endured things that no one should have to remember.
Her life would have been far different. Of that there can be little doubt.
But I would lose my favorite conversation starter.
Even when problems have run their course, memory can be the stone that sinks you into the abyss.
Still not sure I agree, but no matter.
Your past has not overwhelmed you yet. Wait, was there something else, mortal?
Why did you pull down Ione Brava?
The great conundrum of a god is how close to become with your subjects. Too far and they lose hope. Too close and your own judgment fails.
I guess dropping a rock on their heads is one way to fix that.
Civilizations are meant to ebb and flow. Allow them to persist for too long in power or knowledge, and you invite catastrophe. There was a time when we let our sympathies get the better of us. When memories were allowed to persist that should have been washed away, the other gods could not be moved to act. I did what had to be done without them.
You were too close to civilization? Which do you speak of?
I speak of what is forgotten. I failed that day, but my purpose was achieved in the end. I will not dredge up the memory to satisfy idle curiosity.
The army that destroyed the dwarves, the Eyeless, are they yours?
What the world casts aside, I take into my care. A thing may be forgotten, but it is never alone as long as I am here. They were lost children, abandoned, fixed on a purpose that no longer had meaning. I took them in, gave them new purpose. I did not create them, but yes, they are mine.
What new purpose did you give them?
Some things that are forgotten must never be remembered.
Oh, Christ!
Not merely for the benefit of those who forgot, but for the entire world. There can be no second thoughts, no sympathy or stays of execution. The Eyeless were born to fulfill this task, though even their creator did not know it. They are single-minded and relentless.
You mean they kill those who remember what you want forgotten?
They do not flinch when called upon to do what is necessary. Kith owe them a great debt for the troubles they have hidden away.
They're Abaddons. I saw them forged.
They were his once. I won't deny it. He created them as assistants to carry out his work on Aora, but he has long been the overseer of progress in the world. Leaving things behind has always been his way. I allow him to leave his past in my care, so that it does not hold him back.
You and Abaddon have a unique connection then.
I suppose we do. But then, the gods have always been able to accomplish far greater things when working together.
Nearby, you see a shark pass through a school of fish. The fish scatter, evading the predator.
I had something else to discuss about the Eyeless.
Speak your mind.
Never mind. My intellect is too low. Requirement is not met.
You may ask.
You say on one hand you had to call down Aeoni Brava. Or however you say that, but I like saying Brava. Yet on the other, that you would have stopped it for Abaddon.
The death of a god is a calamity. You are living in the aftermath of one such death. Surely you can understand.
You have said that sympathy can't get in the way. What about yours for Abaddon?
He deserved better. Of all the other gods, he was the only one who acted, who held to his convictions.
The goddess of relentlessness must have appreciated such quality.
Yes. I admired him for that.
But more than that, you loved him.
The pull and push of the current becomes long and heavy like a sigh.
Whatever he was to me, it was not meant to last. Always our duty is to Aora first. I knew he opposed what I intended, that he would wish to preserve what I meant to destroy. I knew it would cause a rift that might never be mended, but I never imagined he'd go so far. I never imagined it would mean I would never know him as I once did.
If he doesn't remember dying, why not begin again with him?
Because it might cause him to remember.
Ow!
No, mortal. Better that we should exist as we are now. What happened once must never happen again. Bad enough that I am cursed to remember it. You may ask.
I need you to call off the Eyeless.
On the contrary, mortal, their work must continue. Far too much was uncovered while they lay dormant.
They draw attention to the very things you wish hidden. In my dreams I have seen them swarming over the Deerwood.
Those who know too much of the White Forge will be washed clean from Aora, and then the Eyeless shall rest once more.
This isn't some lone tribe of dwarves. The Forge sees visitors from all over now. The Eyeless will tear the Deerwood apart. It will never be forgotten.
The sea of life around you stirs back and forth, agitated and restless.
Even if it is as you say, there is nothing that can be done. The Eyeless do not think for themselves. They have only the purpose that is given to them. They do not stop until the purpose is fulfilled. They will not change course now for me or anyone. I am sorry.
If you won't stop them, then I will.
Your determination is commendable. But the Eyeless number in the thousands. You will need more than strength or luck.
I will sacrifice every life from Stalwart and Kanua if need be.
Or just for fun, maybe.
That too.
Let us hope it does not come to that. I will give you what aid I can. I bade the Eyeless to remain hidden when at rest. They are gathered in the hollow of a great rock, splintered from Aeoni Brother. It lies in a flooded crater known as Kairon's Scar. Know, too, that they were built to answer the call of their master's hammer. When they hear it strike, they come to its aid. If you were to take that piece of his hammer from here and reshape it in Abaddon's forge into a likeness of the original, you might be able to call them to you. But destroying them would be another matter. I know of one way, but only from the center of the Lion's Den. Only with their master's hammer in your service. If you can do all this, if you can reshape what remains of Abaddon's hammer and bring it inside their lair, I can instruct you there on what you would need to do.
It'd be easier if you told me now.
Nothing I say will make sense until you see it for yourself, mortal. We share a common purpose now. I will see you through it when the time comes.
I will remake the hammer into White Forge and stop the eyeless.
If you do not, be assured, they will come for you as they did for the Pargrunen.
An uneasy turbulence disturbs the calm, like an unwelcome thought.
Careful as you approach the lake. When I claimed the eyeless, I made sure they would not be discovered while they slept. Many of my most devoted followers stand watch there. They will not allow you near.
Then they will die.
And there is something far worse. Something more fearsome and dangerous than any eyeless. Let us hope you do not attract its attention.
Hopefully it's a kraken, because I need an eyeball.
In the place of your answer, a sudden surge in the current from beneath you sends you hurtling upward. The surface above you approaches fast, shifting and glimmering like quicksilver. You emerge soaking wet on the stone floor of the reliquary, gasping for breath as if you'd been holding it for hours. What the well holds. Got a new quest here. Whoa! Alright, impromptu visit from the wifey. That's the thing when your wifey works 8 minutes down from the house. She can pop in whenever, so you gotta make sure you clear the house before she gets here. Alright. So anyways, we have this new quest here. A few miles north of Kindle Vale sits a tiny village called White Wreath. So small that it's often missed on maps and tax records. The village has little contact with the rest of Deerwood. Despite its tiny size, the village has a long history dating back to use as a Glanfather tribal camp over 3 centuries ago. One of the most prominent features of the community is a deep well, the top of which is made from Gwythianadra. Though none of it of any religious significance to the Glanfathans, all those who see it agree that the well is truly ancient. In recent years, locals have reported strange sounds from within the ancient well. Some describe it as animal sounds, others as odd speaking in a foreign tongue. No one has dared venture down into the well, but villagers are becoming nervous about drawing water from it. Though the community has modest resources at their disposal, they have reached out for the nearby lords for assistance. Grieving Mother knows all about wells. Send that bitch. Gada! You stay put, Gada. We'll be there in no time. Well, we'll be there in like 3 days.
You have crossed the Vale of Tears without permission. You leave me no choice.
Get some!
You've made a grave mistake. I will correct it in Andra's name.
Bring it, biatch!
Gonna cast some chain lightning up in here.
Whoa!
Knew they'd all fuck with my mages.
This
thing isn't doing the job.
what?
Break your ass!
Right.
Well, there goes both my fucking mages. Too cramped, too cramped.
Thing isn't doing the job.
Motherfucker! These guys can definitely put out some damage. Note to self, back your mages up some mo.
Yes.
The Wave Crested Key. Tidal Fisk Mask. Robes of the Tidebringer. Exceptional. Plus 25 defense against charm, confused attacks. Plus 10 defense against dominated attacks. Grants a martyr of the unconscious. Plus 30 attack speed. It's almost like a good monk outfit. We'll check it out and compare, but...
What? Well? As you wish.
Time to talk to his soul. You project your essence outward, and when it makes contact, you feel yourself suddenly plummeting through the moments and sensations of another life. You see beneath you in a memory glowing brightly, and as you pass it, you latch on and pull yourself inside. You walk briskly through a hallway flanked by small gated rooms. It is the feel of a prison, but the architecture is consistent with the abbey. Your heart races. You pause at an array of panels too blurry to read. You arrange them, and a hidden tile slides back in the wall. In that spot, you make a strange sign with your hands, and the way ahead opens for you. You ascend a flight of steps and take hold of a rod-shaped object attached to a mechanical device and push it down. You hear the sound of water in the distance. You are falling through the memories again, but come to a sudden sharp landing outside an enclosure that overlooks the facade of an abbey. Water flows over an archway like a waterfall without a source. You look in your hand, and the relic you took from the device is there. You extend it outward, and the water seems to be repelled by it, creating space for you to enter. As you step through, the doorway leads out to the memory entirely. You withdraw in the same direction you came from, flying upward and out of the High Abbot's soul.
As you wish.
Oh! You left one behind!
Not try something else.
That's not very helpful.
What is it?
Oh, now everyone's against me? Why is my interdiction not coming back?
That ain't gonna work.
Good job.
Forth to battle! Mow it.
She's in a bad place right now.
Work in rock.
She's down.
La.
isn't doing the job.
As the undisputed ruler of Cadnua, you are able to draw upon this heirloom of the Gothman family to increase your might, resolve, and damage reduction while gaining immunity to charmed and dominated afflictions. Gotta go all out.
Lava. Beyond sea.
Fucking jamming spells everywhere.
Lava.
Oh! Fuck are you doing?
Varathus!
Probably should have took a different way out.
So much for you.
Especially considering we're not getting any direct XP here. Might be some good items though. Always some shit to sell. Check that book later.
Of course.
Actually, I'll check it now before I forget. It was just another Grimoire of the Tides. Got a lot of shit to sell. Holy fuck. Love how they just turned to attack my wizards. Completely got you fucked in this game. This is why you always have two mages, people. One goes down, you're still fucking shit up.
Love.
Fucking feeling groovy, baby. What are you talking about?
Of course.
Right out the front door. Oh, man.
Gotta do it the hard way.
Alright, I knew that was gonna happen.
Your end.
Oh, fucking drawing aggro.
Hold still.
This thing isn't doing the job. That's not very helpful.
Look at that damage. That damage, son! How much further is she on that fucking dagger?
Well?
I can imagine that's not the good way to go on harder difficulties.
As you wish.
It never ends!
Lava. Lava.
So much for you. That's it.
That's not very helpful.
Just like my
Not even slowing it down.
Lava Ruby. La
Changing my mind.
That ain't gonna work.
Get that points of damage. We must see what this crazy dagger does. The devil of Karok, one-on-oneing bitches.
Indeed.
Hey! Nobody smacks around my golem bitch.
Do no murdering like that ain't gonna work. Right here.
Well, we got a lot of fucking money for doing
What
it.
is it?
Right here.
Getting close. 1150 out of 1500. Lair of the Eyeless. Guessing I need to go back to the forge and have it reforged. So it turns out there was a stairway or something that takes us directly from the Abbey's reliquary to the to the White Forge.
Well?
Incredible heat ripples upward from the right forge and laps against your exposed skin. The fragment of the Abaddon's hammer grows warm in your hands as if in recognition. It is only a fraction of the size of the original, but there is metal enough to create a hammer fit for a person of your size to wield. In this forge, the fragment could be shaped anew. You call to mind every memory you have witnessed of the Great Hammer. The images coalesce to take shape in your mind's eye. You know every curve, every engraving. Even as a shapeless lump of metal, you can see the fragment for what it is meant to become. You called him... what? The fragment is slow to heat, even in the White Forge, and quick to cool as you work it against the anvil. Sweat drizzles down your body and puddles at your feet. Your arm grows sore with each swing of your forge hammer until you can barely lift it. Minutes turn to hours. As Abaddon's hammer begins to take shape, the ring of your own hammer against it takes on a familiar tone, one that you have heard in your dreams. With each strike, an image flashes in your mind. It is hazy at first, but it gains details as the hammer begins to resemble the original. Over time, the image becomes a frozen landscape centered around a crater lake. Eyeless patrol its frozen surface in droves, and this can only be the place Andra described, Charon's Scar. The eyeless pause here and there when you strike and look up, as though hearing the echo in the wind. In the distance, as more details appear, you can see other landmarks, stalwarts, Durgan's Battery, and you understand where the lake lies on the White March, where you must take this hammer. Finally, with the careful etching of the last detail with the old chisel, the hammer is completed. No sooner do you make the final mark than you feel a pure radiant energy pulsing from within it like a mechanical heartbeat. There's an indescribable beauty to the shape and weighting and design. It feels as if this realization of the metal's purpose. You take up the hammer and the power rushes over you in waves, and it shakes your body so hard you nearly drop to your knees. The tremor passes, but the surge of power remains. The hair on your arm stands on end. In your hands is a faithful recreation of a divine instrument.
Watch where you swing that thing.
I've heard enough.
The sounds of an argument reach you from the stairs. Darren marches into the room, arms crossed, while Wengra bounds along behind him.
This threatens all of us now.
Matron Berrigan lumbers after Darren and Wengra, flanked by the two stout ogres. Wengra sees you and points enthusiastically.
See, Darian? He'll tell you. We can stop him.
Tension crackles in the air. Darren whirls and cuts Wengra off, with a chopping motion.
If he's seen them, he knows better.
What's going on here?
Something killed a whole crew of hunters out in the wood. Tore them apart like dolls, insects.
Despite his steady posture, his eyes flicker like flies, and his upper lip shines with sweat. Berrigan mutters something to her escort, and they snort in agitation.
I told ya. All we gotta do is get him in range of these cannons, and then we blast him.
She brings her hands together in a loud clap.
We don't even know what they are.
He shuts his eyes and breathes loudly through his nose.
I do.
Everyone turns and looks at you.
They're known as the Eyeless. And if you want to live, you'll shut up and listen to me from now on.
Darren and Wengra grumble, shifting on their feet and glaring sullenly. After a pause, Berrigan looks back at you.
I came to offer my clan's help.
The others gawk at her.
The White March has been our home for centuries. We'll defend it alongside you.
Very well. Your aid will be welcome.
She presents an ancient banded horn in both of her calloused hands, holding it out to you.
Sound it anywhere in the White March, and 3 of my best warriors will be at your side. Your battles become ours.
She bows.
Three? Why not 10?
What's your plan for dealing with them exactly?
The Islas are hidden at Karen's Scar. I will face them there.
Wengra and Darren gape at each other in disbelief.
That lake's notorious. Folk never come back from that.
She breaks off, her eyes suddenly wide.
Oh. Ahem.
An awkward silence follows. Wengra cleans her throat noisily.
You know, those heavy cannons you fixed might come in handy.
She grins a mischievous twinkle in her eye. Darren starts to groan, and she holds up both hands.
Hear me out. Karen's Scar should be just in range for those guns. You just point out your target and I'll do the rest.
If those things are on the move, we don't have much time. If you're really gonna stop them, take this. It's the best of the ore we've pulled from Stalwart's mines.
He gives you a solemn nod.
It's not much, but it's good enough to make the old Pargrunen Smiths proud.
Good, gimme shit.
You may call upon the aid of the Kragorgs by using Bergen's Battlehorn and Karen's Scar. You may call upon the cannons of Durgan's Battery by using the Heavy Cannon Blast ability in Karen's Scar. Luglug will grant Heavy Cannon Blast. Alright folks, we'll have to check out the rest of the shit later on. I gotta go. Thanks for watching.